Hello everyone and welcome to Anthroholic. This is Ashima Shukla, and in today's video we are going to talk about Darwinism, the theory of evolution, a very well known theory. Many of you must have heard about it, read about it somewhere or the other. So we are going to talk in detail about this theory in this particular video. Before we begin, I would like to tell you all that Anthroholic has started a course and offer all the students who have anthropology as optional subject. So check out the link below after this video. You can check out, and right now you can check out as you find free. There's a link in the description where you can click and see all the features of the course, which I will be telling you later as well. Now, in today's video, we are going to be looking towards Darwinism, as I told you, the theory of evolution, which was proposed by Charles Darwin in 1850. Now, this theory explains how evolution happened. The idea of this theory was कि किस तरीके से evolution हुआ है, किस तरीके से organisms आज के time पे वैसे हैं जो आज के environment में. Now, you all must be aware that if you look decades back, as you keep going back, the type of environment, the conditions, they were completely different. How is it that those organisms changed to today's organisms? Many species have evolved over time. There has natural selection which has happened. There's genetic differences which has happened. And to explain that, Charles Darwin had proposed this theory of evolution. Right now, in this, he said that there is a process of natural selection. Natural selection means that organisms who have traits which are better suited for the environment right now, they will survive and reproduce. यानी जिनके अंदर ऐसे genes हैं, ऐसे traits हैं जो आज के environment में survive कर सकते हैं, those who have the fittest traits, the fittest genes, those who can fight the environment of today, they are the ones who can survive. वही बचेंगे, वही आगे जाके रिप्रोड्यूस करेंगे. Those whose genes are poor, who do not have the urge to fight to reproduce, fight to survive, they may not continue. The generation might not continue. So over generations, traits become more common, leading to gradual evolution of species as well. धीरे धीरे इन्हीं के अंदर changes आते रहते हैं और वही changes से evolution भी होता रहता है. There are certain things which keep changing as the generations pass on, and definitely you can say that this is how evolution of the species in general happens. So this particular theory, it revolutionized biology. It laid the foundation for modern evolutionary science as well. Now, before we proceed to the details of this theory, we should first have a brief idea about who Charles Darwin was. Charles Darwin was born in 1809 in England and he died in 1882. And he was influenced by Greek thinkers majorly, works of Empedocles, Aristotle, Lamarck. These are all the people who influenced his works. And his grandfather, Erasmus Darwin, he contributed to this evolutionary outlook as well. Okay, the best known work of his is the theory of evolution by natural selection, a brief idea of which I just gave you in the previous slide. He is the author of the Origin of Species book, which was released in 1859. His ideas in general challenged the traditional beliefs about the fixed species, कि भाई species change ही नहीं हो सकते हैं. वो जो idea था, उस idea को challenge किया, उस traditional belief को तोड़ा. He is the one who did that in this book on the origin of species. Right? His book is based on observations during his voyage on HMS Beagle. He had seen certain things, he had understood certain things, and that is how he brought forward this theory, and currently he is regarded as the father of modern evolutionary biology. Though not everything what he said is true, there are certain challenges, there are certain criticisms. Definitely हर theory में criticisms होते हैं, challenges होते हैं. One person cannot explain everything, but he did try. He laid a kind of foundation to understanding the evolution of species in general, right? Now, before we proceed to understanding the details, let's have a quick look at how the questions have been formed in previous examinations of civil services related to this particular theory. Right? So one is elucidate how Darwin and post-Darwin theories of evolution resulted in development of synthetic theory of evolution. So this, because I told you this was a very basic theory. This was a foundational theory. Basis on this, there were multiple challenges which you must have read as well. So the impact of Darwinism, impact of post-Darwinism is very, very important, because this is going to help you explain the future theories. So over here they had asked about the synthetic theory of evolution with impacts of Darwin and post-Darwin. Then there was a critical examination of Darwin's theory of evolution in understanding evolution. The critical, as I told you, criticism हर theory का होता है, उस criticism को समझना जरूरी है. So when in this video I'll be telling you about the criticisms as well. So when you will collaborate the criticism that this theory had faced with what this theory had proposed, that is what this particular question would come as an answer. Critically examination of Darwin's theory of evolution to understand evolution. Then there was how Darwinism differs from synthetic theory of evolution. Evolution में काफी सारी theories हैं, तो Darwinism का synthetic theory of evolution से क्या relation है, क्या difference है, everything should be clear to you. Then there is Lamarckism and Darwinism. These are a few questions that have come previously relevant to our theory, particularly of Darwinism. However, you can see that there are multiple questions related to evolution as well, like about synthetic theory of evolution, organic evolution, microevolution. These are the further steps of it. Sometimes you might be asked about the relevance with Darwinism. Sometimes you might be asked to critically examine it. Sometimes you might be asked to differentiate between the two. But you have to be aware of all the theories that are there. Looking at these questions, now over here you see biological and cultural factors of human evolution. Then you can see about the implications of mutation in evolution. So evolution से related बहुत सारे questions है, लेकिन particularly if you look at Darwinism related, you will mostly seek questions which are more of a differential or more of a critical analysis, or more of a differential, or how it is different, how it is related, how it is influenced. इस तरीके के क्वेश्चंस आएंगे विद रिलेवेंस टू डार्विनिज्म. सो एक क्रिस्प आइडिया होना जरूरी है डार्विनिज्म का. नॉट वेरी डिटेल्ड, आई विल नॉट से दैट यू हैव टू डेल्व डीपर इनटू इट, बट अ क्रिस्प आइडिया इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज आपको जब आप कंपेयर करेंगे इस थ्योरी को, व्हेन यू आर कंपेयरिंग दिस थ्योरी विद अदर थ्योरीज, दैट इज वेयर योर क्वेश्चंस आर कमिंग फ्रॉम. सो यू नीड टू बी अवेयर ऑफ दिस थ्योरी, व्हाट इट प्रपोजेस एंड हाउ देन इट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम अदर्स, right? Let's have a look at a few key ideas of Darwin's theory. Now, there are 5 major pointers with respect to Darwin's theory. ठीक है, 5 pointers हैं. First, we look at overproduction. Each of these I will be telling in detail as well. हाँ, detail में अभी देखेंगे, but a crisp idea. Overproduction, जैसा नाम, ज़्यादा produce हो रहा है. More than the required number is being produced or reproduced, that is overproduction. Overproduction के बाद वेरिएशन आ सकता है. ऑफकोर्स 100 बच्चे 100 में से ऐसा नहीं है 100 के 100 एक जैसे होंगे, नॉट ऑल आर गोइंग टू बी सेम. देयर इज सर्टेन फॉर्म ऑफ वेरिएशन दैट इज गोइंग टू हैपन. एंड इतने सारे जब होंगे, व्हेन you see fish laying so many eggs, राइट, इतने सारे जब अंडे दिए, इतने सारे बच्चे हुए, तो नाउ देयर इज गोइंग टू बी स्ट्रगल फॉर एग्जिस्टेंस. स्ट्रगल क्यों होगा? क्योंकि रिसोर्सेस तो उतने ही हैं, उतना ही खाना है, उतना ही पानी है, उतना ही रिसोर्सेज आर नॉट मल्टीप्लाइंग विद टाइम, राइट? रिसोर्सेज तो उतने ही है, खाना पानी हवा सेम है, बट द प्रोडक्शन इज ओवर, ज्यादा हो गया है, there's higher amount of reproduction or production that has happened, so they are going to struggle to exist, to survive, that is struggle for existence, that leads to survival of the fittest. ओवर प्रोडक्शन से क्या हुआ? ओवर प्रोडक्शन से दो चीजें हुई, वेरिएशन आया, चेंजेस आए, सिमिलैरिटी थोड़ी थोड़ी चेंज होगी, कुछ कुछ चीजें हर एक में चेंज होगी, और साथ साथ में इन सब जितने भी प्रोड्यूस हुए हैं वो सब स्ट्रगल करेंगे सर्वाइव करने के लिए, दे आर ऑल गोइंग टू स्ट्रगल बिकॉज देर आर लिमिटेड रिसोर्सेस, एंड when they are struggling for existence, there is going to be survival of the fittest, जो सबसे ज्यादा फिट है, जो उस रिसोर्स को गेन कर पा रहा है, जो उस खाने को अटेन कर पा रहा है, जो लड़के उस खाने के लिए, उस जगह के लिए लड़ पा रहा है, that is the one which is going to survive. तो सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट, जो सबसे फिट है, एनवायरमेंट को सूट कर रहा है, नेचुरल रिसोर्सेस को गेन कर पा रहा है, अडेप्ट कर पा रहा है, everything is required for survival, and the one who is the fittest is going to survive. And then there comes a differential reproduction. Differential reproduction के अंदर क्या हो जाता है? Differential reproduction means that those who have the ability to survive and then reproduce as well, reproduce those traits which are important for survival आगे जाकर, तो जिन्होंने ज्यादा जल्दी अडेप्ट किया वो सरवाइव करे, और सरवाइव करके दे रिप्रोड्यूस एंड पास दोज ट्रेड्स टू द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन, जो अभी सरवाइव करने के लिए काम आए, उन ट्रेड्स को व्हेन दे आर बीइंग पास्ड टू द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन, दैट इज डिफरेंशियल रिप्रोडक्शन. ठीक है, दिस इज द की आइडिया ऑफ डार्विन्स थ्योरी ऑफ हाउ organisms evolve, they survive, they there are certain changes, genetic pool changes that happen. All right, now as I was telling you before we proceed, this is not the end of the video, continue watching, we are going to talk about each of those. I promised we are going to talk about each of those, हर एक trait के बारे में भी हम बात करेंगे, हर एक key feature के बारे में बात करेंगे. But before we proceed, I would like to tell you about the anthropology optional course which has been released, as I was telling you, link description के अंदर है. उस course के अंदर you will have all the video lessons, there are live classes also happening, उसमें test series भी है, daily answer भी है, writing भी है, you have articles, you have study material, you have ebooks, there is all sorts of research papers, everything is going to be accessible to all of you if you attain to this course. साथ में टेस्ट सीरीज के साथ लाइव क्लासेस फॉर योर ऑल योर डाउट सॉल्विंग इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू बी देयर, right? Videos which have been broken down into small parts, तो micro topics में divide किया गया है, so that you don't have the burden of listening to the entire 1 or 2 hours or 3 hours. No, they have been divided into small chunks of 15-20 minutes so that you can have a quick grasp of the topic, and then read and learn and delve into all the notes and everything. Right, there's a WhatsApp group which you will be a part of, where you can ask your questions, your doubts, your problems, and then definitely YouTube classes इस तरह के short हम बनाते भी रहेंगे. Right, let's proceed to our individual understanding, but please do check out the course, it is very helpful, it is going to be extremely helpful for your preparation as well. First we have is overproduction, the prodigality of nature, where more offsprings are produced than the environment can support. जैसे fish, as I gave an example, they lay hundreds of eggs. Tadpoles, frogs, they lay so many eggs all together. सर्वाइवल कम लोगों का होता है, सर्वाइव सारे नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन दे प्रोड्यूस मोर सो दैट उनमें से कुछ तो बचे. Right, so overproduction happens in the environment, and this overproduction is the reason why so many offsprings are there, and they are going to be the ones who lead to competition हर चीज का होगा फिर. there's going to be competition for food, for space, for mating, for basic natural resources required for survival. right? So competition is going to be there because of this overproduction. Overproduction के बाद आया variation. There's going to be slight variation. हर इंडिविजुअल में मतलब among individuals, among species, natural differences are going to be there. They are the ones which will impact the survival and reproduction. इनका असर survival पे भी पड़ेगा, reproduction पे भी पड़ेगा. There are slight changes, like some beetles are brownish, some are reddish, some are greenish. Beetles के examples अगर हम देखें तो there are various variations that you will see. It can be in respect to color. कलर चेंज हो सकता है जैसे बीटल्स में होता है, स्पीड का डिफरेंस हो सकता है, साइज का डिफरेंस हो सकता है छोटे बड़े का. तो वेरिएशंस आते रहेंगे. अब उनमें से कौन सरवाइव कर पा रहा है, that is the one which is going to impact. So some beetles, if it is supposing a greenish color beetle or a brownish color beetle, वो camouflage जल्दी होगा. रेड कलर का beetle बहुत easily दिख जाएगा, तो it is very easy for a bird to eat it. But which is green color or brownish color, which will merge, which will camouflage with the mud, with the trees, with the soil, जो merge जल्दी हो camouflage हो गया, वो जल्दी से खाया नहीं जाएगा. It is not going to be a prey very easily, right? तो कौन सरवाइव किया, वेरिएशन की वजह से दिस कैटेगरी सरवाइव्ड बेटर देन द रेड कैटेगरी, राइट? तो वेरिएशन का इंपैक्ट पड़ता है, वेरिएशन होता रहता है, बट उससे कौन सरवाइव कर पा रहा है, it does impact it. Then heredity, definitely parents are going to give something to their children, right? So traits तो वो पास करेंगे. Whatever changes they have seen throughout their existence, there might be certain genetic changes that have come that are going to be passed on to the future generation, right? So the beneficial traits are passed on from the parent to the child. एंड दीज आर ऑल जेनेटिक चेंजेस. डीएनए के अंदर जितने भी चेंजेस हो सकते हैं, दे आर द वंस विच आर पास्ड ऑन. समटाइम्स इवन लर्निंग्स आर पास्ड ऑन, राइट? तो हेरिडिटिकल चेंजेस होंगे. स्ट्रगल फॉर एग्जिस्टेंस होगा. एज ए ओवर प्रोडक्शन हो गया, ओवर प्रोडक्शन हो गया तो इंडिविजुअल्स आर गोइंग टू compete for food, compete for mating, compete for shelter, and this can be within same species also. It can be a competition with other species also, right? सिर्फ खुद के ही नहीं, अलग स्पीशीज के साथ भी ये लड़ाई हो सकती है. इट इज नॉट मैंडेटरी दैट इंटर स्पीशीज ही होगी. भाई जो भी लड़ाई होगी, जो भी स्ट्रगल होगा, इट इज गोइंग टू बी बिटवीन द स्पीशीज ओनली. नो, right? So there is going to be a struggle. It can be intraspecific struggle, which is between the individuals of same species, because needs and requirements same है, तो same environment में limited resource रहेगा. Intraspecific कैसे होगा? जैसे one species which has similar requirement to the other species. दो जानवर हैं, दोनों एक ही चीज को खाते हैं, तो लड़ाई होगी. जैसे cows and buffaloes, both are different species, but both eat grass, both eat trees. So इस केस में there's going to be a struggle, there's going to be a fight. Why? Because food same है, right? They live in the same type of environment, they eat same type of food, there's going to be struggle, right? And then definitely adverse conditions अगर हो जाते हैं, maybe it's too much heat, too much water, तो वो वाला struggle एक अलग struggle होता है, right? So only some are going to survive out of this entire struggle. कुछ ही लोग हैं, जो कुछ ही species हैं, कुछ ही animals हैं जो survive कर पाएंगे, जो आगे जाके reproduce कर पाएंगे. Then we have survival of the fittest. Definitely individuals who are best suited for that particular environment, that change, they are the ones who will survive and reproduce. Fittest means most suited. जरूरी नहीं है कि सिर्फ strong ही हो. It is not necessary, it is not right कि सिर्फ strength is the matter. Better chance of survival is the one where they are more suitable, more adaptable to the changes that have happened. मे बी एनवायरमेंटल चेंजेस, मे बी ज़्यादा गर्मी हो गई, ज़्यादा बारिश हो गई, ज़्यादा धूप हो गई, वट एवर हैज़ हैपेंड इन द environment, maybe there's a lack of food, so someone who has stored better will be surviving, right? So whatever fits at that particular time is the one which is going to be surviving, and it leads to gradual evolution of species. ऐसे ही धीरे धीरे evolution होता है, slow and steady steps. It is not one day thing, it is not a 2-day thing, it is a generational thing, right? Now, when we look at all of these modifications, these survivals, we can see that not everything has been explained. You also must have seen कि यार ये ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है. This is particular thing which is not explained particularly in this. So yes, there were a lot of criticisms of Darwinism. The first one being Darwin was unaware of the Mendelian inheritance and genes. By that time, this inheritance thing, heredity thing was already explained in Mendel's work. And Darwin was not aware of this. He was not aware of how traits are inherited. Inheritance के बारे में मेंडल का जो भी थ्योरी था वो चीज के बारे में इसको उनको पता ही नहीं था. That time they didn't have internet, so right. So later on, definitely it was resolved with the discovery of DNA, development of modern synthesis, and this modern synthesis जो है that combines Darwin's natural selection and Mendelian genetics. दोनों को combine, दोनों का work is similar, दोनों को combine करके है, but at that time Mendelian inheritance was not known to him, so he was a little unaware of how the traits are inherited, how traits are passed on from one generation to another. Second was he only considered small and gradual changes. छोटे छोटे जो changes हो रहे हैं सिर्फ उन पे ध्यान दिया गया था, right? But the major changes were not explained particularly by him. Then we have could not explain how new traits arise. पुराने ट्रेड्स जो चेंज हो रहे हैं हल्के हल्के ठीक है, लेकिन व्हाट अबाउट द ट्रेड्स विच आर कंप्लीटली न्यू, बिल्कुल नए आ गए हैं, राइट? ही डिड नॉट explain about a number of useless and non-adaptive organs also, जो natural selection से नहीं हो सकते हैं, right? So in these things Darwin was not very sure of how it happens. जैसे over specialized organ हो गया, huge antlers of Irish deer, this is not explained in natural selection, right? So छोटी छोटी चीजें तो उन्होंने explain कर दी, लेकिन the major changes that happens, genetic drift हो रहा है, जो mutations हो रहे हैं, completely new चीज form हो रही है, या old organs which are completely becoming waste, that is not explained. Survival of the fittest was seen as a circular argument. He ignored the cooperation and mutualism in nature, जो multiple organisms, many species साथ में भी coexist भी करते हैं. That was not explained in this theory. ठीक है? Then, moreover, he could not fully justify the gradual evolution of intricate structures, which I told you, and as an example of the antlers, huge antlers. तो जो नए structures बन रहे हैं या more complexity which is being arisen in individuals, that was not explained completely, right? Traits which are not affected by natural selection, what happens to those? How are they being changed and impacted? That was not explained. एम्ब्रियोलॉजी फिजियोलॉजी के जो कंस्ट्रेंट्स हैं कंप्लीटली इग्नोर कर दिए गए थे इसके अंदर. म्यूटेशन एज अ सोर्स ऑफ वेरिएशन was unknown to Darwin at the time. जो म्यूटेशंस हो रहे हैं, जेनेटिक म्यूटेशंस होते हैं, they were not something which were incorporated in the theory by Darwin. So ideas were more of a qualitative idea, quantitatively tested idea नहीं था, qualitative ideas ज़्यादा थे. Superiority and inferiority of an individual as compared to another of same species was not a result of development of a particular characteristic. It was of the general capacity of the organism, which was very faintly touched by Darwin, right? So there are a lot of things that were not touched by him, a lot of things which were ignored by him, some were there which were not even explained, like they could not completely explain it, right? So जो gradualism है, slow and gradual changes, ये explain करे डार्विन ने, लेकिन what about those sudden changes that have happened that were not explained at all? So then alternate theories started coming forward. Why? Because a lot of things were left unexplained, and a lot of things were left untouched or ignored in this theory, and these criticisms are the only things that are going to be very very help, are one of the most important things for you, not the only but very very important for you, because this criticism is the one which is linking you to other theories of evolution, and those other theories of evolution are the ones with whom you will compare Darwinism, right? You will be asked to compare that in exams. So be mindful of the criticisms that were there, and which theory explained it better than, or who took over it, right? This would be end for this topic, but there are more videos to come, so stay tuned, subscribe to the channel for more videos, more crisp videos. Do check out the link below. You can also, if you have any queries regarding the course, how to enroll, or you want to understand about Anthroholic, we are available on Instagram, on Telegram, on WhatsApp, so you can connect with either any of the places, and we are going to be available for you. See you in the next video. Till then, good luck with your preparations, all of you.